Guitar Heroes, this is Mel from How to Play Guitars with S.com. Today we are starting weekly and daily challenges that are going to be available on Skool, Skool.com/unleash your inner guitar hero. And in those daily and weekly challenges, there's going to be warm-up and technique drills, legendary riffs and songs that will level up your playing, mindset hacks to build consistency and confidence, and exclusive prizes and incentives for posting your progress. So what's going to happen is each person that's in this group is going to get a lesson every day or every week as I assign them, and they are going to then post their progress in the group, a video recording or an audio recording of their playing, so that other people can talk about it and critique their playing, and not to be mean or anything, but to be helpful. In this group, I've got people from all over the country and all over the world. It's small still relatively, but I've got people from Canada and Alaska and Hawaii and London, England, and Switzerland and Australia, and just all over the place. It's just kind of it's a great group of people and from all walks of life who are learning to play the guitar. So if you want to be a part of that, I would come in. It's $1 right now that eventually is going to go up. It's available on Skool, Skool.com/unleash your inner guitar hero. Some of the prizes that might include personalized picks, t-shirts, free coaching with me, and so much more. So check that out right now on Skool, Skool.com/unleash your inner guitar hero. Now the song today that we are doing is Smokestack Lightning by Howlin Wolf. And Howlin Wolf actually originally was named Chester Burnett, who grew up in the Mississippi Delta, but then eventually moved to be closer to his dad because his parents split up. Eventually he got to study and basically be mentored by Charlie Patton, one of the greatest bluesmen of all time. And he learned a lot from Charlie, including his guitar skills and his singing skills. And all the while, Howlin Wolf just kept refining his technique, refining his skills in singing and all the other things that he does so well. And this song was originally called Crying at Daybreak. And it's about an unfaithful woman and Wolf's heartbreaking need to hop a train and just leave town. So when asked about this song, Howlin Wolf said, yeah, it's about a train, that runs on the rails, right? And so the smokestack lightning go by, it would create these smokestacks or smoke out of the smokestacks, and would create sparks from those smokestacks. And so it was those sparks that sort of gave this idea of smokestack lightning. And this is an example of a one chord or almost no chord, but really it's one chord song throughout. It's an unusual form. It's not the usual 12-bar form. In the beginning, it's about 7 bars, and then most of it is about 13 or 14 bars, depending on how you count it. And so it's kind of an unusual form, but it's based on some very simple blues licks, that some of which we've already talked about and looked at. And this influences some of the things that we've already done in last month's challenge, including Hey Joe and the CCR tune Susie Q. Actually, that was a cover of another person's song. Go look for that video and you'll find more information about that. So this riff is just a simple blues riff in E, and you're going to be just thumping along with that thumb on that low E string pretty much constantly. Every other bar, so he might stop on beat 4 just to give it a little rest, but he just mostly keeps that going while doing this riff. Now, there's actually several variations to this. That first variation, actually, oftentimes, he'll repeat that 3 or 4 times. And then on, like, the 3rd or 4th time, he'll go. All right? And this should be reminiscent of a couple different things. One is in CCR's cover version of Susie Q that we talked about in last month. Go check that video out. Towards the end of that song, there is this riff, which is, it's based on this riff. There's another variation on this. And so what I've done is I've actually created a PDF of this. It's going to be in the group on Skool, Skool/unleash your inner guitar hero. It's about 2 pages long, and it just gives you all the variations that I could find in this song. And like I said, that first one is this. And actually, even before that, I realized, and initially I thought the very first few notes start out here. It almost plays like a G chord, at least what I thought. But I later then realized he's actually playing this, which is almost like an F9 chord. Now, I don't know if that was a fub or a mistake, but if you listen to the recording really carefully, you can hear that on the very first couple notes. And then the riff continues from there. So even this, he's even reminiscent of Hey Joe by Jimi Hendrix. Right, we talked about that in the previous lesson. I'll also go watch that video. And so it's very reminiscent of that kind of thing. And there are actually times in this song where he does this. Which is right, that opening riff of Hey Joe, right? So you're gonna find a lot of very similar riffs that you've heard elsewhere in this song. So let me break it down for you real quick. Like I said, you're often just constantly just hitting that low E string like this, okay? And while you're then doing that, you're also then playing a note either on the E string, the B string, or the G string, sometimes bending the note, sliding the note, and on rare occasion, even like hammering it on or pulling it off. And I do that sometimes even just as a feel thing. And there's actually a video on YouTube of Hubert Sumlin, which was the guy that actually wrote the guitar riff for this. And if you go and watch that video, you will see that he varies this all the time. Like, he has his own way of doing this every single time. It's a little different. But, so like I said, this is sort of my version of what I was able to come up with. And so you're going to pick that low E string. Okay, so you're going to pick the low E string and the high E string together, like this, low E, high E. And sometimes you just start with that low E first. And the other thing I need to say is very often we're muting that low E string, like this. So low E and high E together. Then I grab the 3rd fret on the high E string and I bend it ever so slight. About a quarter of a bend. So I go, and then I go to that low E string again, slide from the 2nd to the 4th fret on the G with the 2nd finger, go to the 3rd fret on the B string, go to the 4th fret on the G again, and then go to the 2nd fret on the G, pull off to the open G string, and then 2nd fret on the D. So we go. Now the trick is to just keep that thumb going. And I've tried multiple times to just keep that on the quarter notes, but sometimes the thumb moves around a little bit, and that's okay. That's characteristic of this style. You'll see Hubert Sumlin doing this. If you listen to Robert Johnson, you'll hear that same kind of idea where sometimes the thumb changes the rhythm a little bit, but essentially we're just trying to keep that thumb going. Okay, now so that's the other one. The answer to that, if you will, is again you start with the low E when the E strings together, low and high, and then you go 3rd fret on the B. Sometimes maybe shake it or bend it a little bit. I wouldn't bend it very much. And then again, you're going to go to the 2nd fret on the G, slide up to the 4, 3rd fret on the B, 4 on the G, 2 on the G, open, and then 2 on the D. Okay, and again, I'm doing this all with fingers. So, now here's part of the trick. When you are sliding from the 2nd fret to the 4th fret, you're sliding that note, and as you do that, you're hitting that low E string at the same time that it arrives at the 4th fret. Now, very often, it's very easy to play the 2nd fret and the low E string at the same time. It's very easy to do this. Very often we do that. I'll do that. I've heard Hubert doing that. A lot of people do that. But the thing about it is, when you go to that 4 to the 2, a lot of times you're sliding just like you would on the Jimi Hendrix tune, on Hey Joe. which I think where that idea comes from. Okay. All right. Those are the two main licks that you're going to see over and over again. Another one is you're going to play the low E string, the two E strings together, slide to the 5 on the B string, 3rd fret on the B string, hit the low E, and again slide 2 to 4, 3 on the B, 4 on the G, 2 on the G open, 2 on the D. So. Another one that's very similar to that is when you play the low E string, the two strings together, and you slide in on the 5th fret. Okay? Similar again to the Hey Joe riff. Same idea, but this time you're just sliding into that 4, almost from nothing. I mean, essentially you're sliding in from the 2nd fret like you did before, but you're not necessarily playing that 2nd fret note, you're just sliding in. It's almost like a ghost, what we call a ghost slide, just sliding into that 4th fret. So, and that's the same thing on these. You're kind of sliding in from the 3rd fret on the B, but it's more about it's more about the destination, where you're sliding to, rather than where you're sliding from. So I do on that. So I do low E together, the two E strings, slide on the B string into the 5th fret while still playing the high E and the low E. Do it again, I'll play another E, and then I do that riff again. Now here's another little variation that's pretty fun. And you'll find this in a lot of people's playing, everything from Jimi Hendrix to Stevie Ray Vaughan, is you grab two notes and you bend them at the same time. So you know, and again I slide that 4 to the 2, just as a characteristic of that's just the style. Obviously, I'm bending that 3rd fret almost always on the high E string. And it's totally okay if you just pull off, or if you hammer on. Cool thing about this is you can literally improvise around this as you're going and play around with hammer-ons and pull-offs and slides and bends and all the various techniques that are prevalent in the blues, and you just keep that thumb going. Like that. You just keep that thumb going as much as you can and try not to stop, and if you do stop, it's okay. But the main thing is just have fun with it and just get into that groove. Now in my group on Skool, I'm going to include the backing track that I found on YouTube, so you can practice along with this, and it has a couple harmonica solos in it. And again, you know, Howlin Wolf not only played guitar and sang, but he also played harmonica. But very often, I mean, he would have a band, so a lot of times he would have other people. In fact, on this recording, he had Willie Dixon on bass, Willie Johnson on guitar, Hubert Sumlin on guitar, and I don't remember the drummer right now off the top of my head. But there's a lot of great stuff that's happening on this recording. I highly encourage you to go listen to it and to record yourself playing it, and to invite yourself into our group on Skool and play for us. Record yourself, play it for us. Let us hear it so we can talk about how you could be an even better player and unleash your inner guitar hero. So, in the meantime, work on this particular song Smokestack Lightning. I have another song coming up, another song that's more or less just a one chord blues, but has a lot more to offer you in terms of the things that you can learn. But in the meantime, keep working on this Smokestack Lightning, have fun with it, and just groove with it. Yeah, and record yourself. Come join our group on Skool, record yourself, and let us watch it so we can talk about it and have community together and talk about guitar stuff together, all right? So see you there, and in the meantime, bye for now.